The National Black MBA Association has led the creation of educational, wealth-building, and growth opportunities for Blacks throughout all stages of their careers as students, professionals, and entrepreneurs. For decades, the association has transformed the lives, which have in turn transformed corporate America. Over the years, our approach has evolved as the needs of our membership, corporate America, and the world has evolved. We transform lives, and transformation begets impact. Listen to the impact of the National Black MBA Association.
Hi, I'm Ariana Hill, Vice President with Kentucky Leaders of Tomorrow. My journey with the Leaders of Tomorrow program began with hesitation. Initially, I did not want to participate, uncertain of its impact. But stepping into LOT changed everything. Over 4 years in high school, I served as the Kentucky Chapter Student President and later as National Student President, experiencing firsthand the power of mentorship, leadership development, and community. The program didn't just shape my career, it transformed my life. Throughout college, I continued to give back as Kentucky LOT Student Alumni President, ensuring that others could benefit from the same guidance that changed my path. Today, I am proud to serve as the Vice President of Kentucky Chapter Leaders of Tomorrow program. Committed to inspiring future leaders as I was inspired. LOT not only equipped me with the tools for success, but instilled a passion for helping others realize their full potential. It is a program that changes lives, starting with mine. Now, please turn your attention to the screen to learn more about the LOT program. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, that sounds a little weak. Good afternoon, everyone. That's what I like to hear. It's an honor to stand before you today, reflecting on the journey that began just a few short years ago, but has profoundly changed my life. In 2022, I was blessed with the opportunity to represent Alcorn State University as an inaugural HBCU cohort scholar at the National Black MBA Association Conference. That moment affirmed my potential, my purpose, and the path that would soon unfold me. At the conference, I was fortunate enough to be sponsored by Marriott International, a company that I admired but never imagined would become my professional home. National Black MBA provided me with the critical tools I needed to transform potential into reality. Resume workshops, development sessions, and lessons on the art of authentic communication. These weren't just soft skills, they were affirmations of my capability to thrive in today's competitive business world. By learning how to navigate corporate spaces with confidence, I walked away from that conference empowered, knowing that I belonged. And in 2023, that sense of belonging manifested into a position with Marriott International as a sales voyager. From there, I learned not just the business of sales, but the importance of building relationships. And now, at just the ripe age of 22 years old, I proudly serve as the Assistant Room Operations Manager at the Renaissance New Orleans Pier Market Hotel. If you had told that boy from Natchez, Mississippi, that one day he'd be standing here sharing his story, I'd believe you. Because deep down, I always imagined this moment. But even so, I stand here with immense gratitude to the National Black MBA Association, which affirmed my purpose and provided the keys to unlock doors I didn't even know existed. Thank you, National Black MBA, for giving me the tools to affirm my own greatness. And thank you, Marriott International, for giving me a place to grow, learn, and lead. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ooh, I love it. My name is Charmaine Ward-Mueller. My journey, thank you. My journey with National Black MBA began with a phone call from my good friend, Sonia Stallings, who's probably out here in the Luncheon somewhere. She invited me to attend the National Black MBA conference with her in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, I had never been to a National Black MBA conference. I had a great job and I was pretty happy. So I said, not really. But if you know Sonia, you know she doesn't take no for an answer. And she convinced me that it was a great opportunity to dust off my resume, network, and have some fun. Fast forward, when I arrived at the Career Expo doors, I was stunned by the myriad of Fortune 500 companies that were represented. I quickly strategically selected companies to chat with and was selected for interviews by 3 companies. By the end of November, I had an offer from Georgia Pacific to join him as Director of Marketing for the paper division, which was just under a $1 million position. Little did I know this decision would change the trajectory of my career, because a few years later, I would take a new role at GP in corporate philanthropy and social impact. Internally at GP, I was the poster child for National Black MBA. And externally, I was a huge advocate who would listen, who would talk about National Black MBA and advocate for National Black MBA to anyone who would listen. Over the years, I participated as a corporate partner, sponsoring the conference, and worked the booth as an extension of the recruiting team. I also became engaged with the local chapter, where I served on the chapter board in several positions and ultimately was elected to president of the Atlanta chapter for 2 terms. I continued to look for ways to serve and was selected to be on the national board, where I was engaged and active in every aspect of the organization, serving for 3 terms, which I just sadly rolled off this year. You know, National Black MBA has been part of my personal and professional growth because of the lifelong friendships created, mentors who have poured into me, mentees I have sold into, and lived experiences at the National Black MBA conferences and events over the years. Today is a full circle moment because I'm looking for a new career opportunity like so many of you in this room. Sharing with recruiters my superpowers in corporate philanthropy, inclusion, equity, and social impact. So whatever happens to you this week, whatever experience you have with National Black MBA, know that it will impact you and it will make you better. Because of National Black MBA, I'm a better employee, better boss, better board member, better entrepreneur, better leader, better human being. When I think of the impact that National Black MBA has had on my life, it reminds me of one of my favorite mantras. If I can see further, it's because I stand on the shoulders of giants. I stand on this stage because I stand on the shoulders of each and every one of you, the members of National Black MBA. Thank you.
This is a visual representation of the impact of the National Black MBA Association. It begins with the Ariana Hills. It then changes and develops into the Xavier Lewis's. Oh, and then it morphs into the Charmaine Ward Millers. Today, we ask you to affirm your commitment to transformation by investing in our Transform campaign. Our goal is to raise $10 million over 3 years to pour into the LOT endowment, build up an HBCU career center, and then continue to develop our Entrepreneurial Institute. You've heard this video throughout the week, but take a listen and think about if you are a corporation who has benefited from our talents, who have no doubt increased your bottom line, affirm your commitment to transformation. If you are an individual who has benefited from the educational, wealth building, and growth opportunities, affirm your commitment to transformation. If this is your first time with us, and you are impressed by what your eyes have seen and your ears have heard, commit to transformation. Take a look at the video.
The National Black MBA Association has empowered emerging and experienced Black professionals for over 50 years. We've built a community of leaders, providing resources for career advancement and champion diversity and inclusion in the business world.
It's your support that fuels our mission to help transform the community by creating a brighter future for the next generation of professionals. It allows us to enhance various programs such as Leaders of Tomorrow, the Entrepreneurial Institute, and create new initiatives like the HBCU Center for Career Support.
Your generosity enables us to provide mentorship, resources, and opportunities for leadership development, HBCUs, and more. Join us in investing in the success of our community and making a lasting impact. Donate today and be a catalyst for transformation.
Do not underestimate your power to transform lives. Together, we transform. Right. Now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce an extraordinary leader who embodies the spirit of the National Black MBA Association. Our honorary co-chair, Danita Johnson. She is a trailblazer, a visionary, and a true inspiration. As the president of business operations for the DC United Soccer Team, she's shattered glass ceilings and demonstrated the power of Black excellence in a world of sports and beyond. Please join me in welcoming this extraordinary leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be at the National Black NBA Association Affirm 2024 Conference, a premier event for Black business leaders and innovators. This year's theme, Driving Excellence, Empowering Transformation, powerfully reflects our community's legacy and ongoing responsibility in today's fast-changing world. Affirm 2024 is more than just a theme. It's a declaration. It challenges us to recognize our value, show up fully in spaces, and go beyond the perceived limits. Affirm means to uplift, champion, and create pathways for lasting success. At DC United, I've witnessed how excellence drives progress. In both sports and business, it's about setting high standards, striving for leadership, and breaking walls. I also like to say barriers. For Black professionals, driving excellence isn't just about keeping pace with the world. It's about leading. As we come together today, let's seize this moment. Let's affirm our excellence, transform the world around us, and lead as our authentic selves. The future is ours to shape. Thank you.
Welcome back, National Black Board Member, Chief Marketing and Customer Experience Officer of Chase Auto, JP Morgan Chase, Renee Moore.
All right, it's good to be back. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Over the last few days, we've heard from some of the brightest minds in business about how we can not only support, uplift, and champion Black business communities, but also be out front driving innovation and economic growth. In our next segment, harnessing your passion and purpose, investing in your dreams and aspirations, get ready to be inspired. We have two industry titans here with us today. Media icon, Soledad O'Brien, and finance leader, Jamie Dimon. While they need no introduction, let me share a few highlights. Soledad O'Brien is an award-winning journalist, philanthropist, and business owner. She's on the board of JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Pathways program, and she has been since its launch in 2019. Her work in the media has been recognized with 4 Emmy Awards, 3 George Foster Peabody Awards, 4 Gracie Awards, and the list goes on and on. To say she has paved the way for modern media is simply an understatement. Jamie Dimon is the CEO and chairman of JP Morgan Chase. While he's known as one of the most powerful figures in finance, he's also a tireless leader for economic inclusion and many important public policy issues impacting Americans: jobs, homes, education, healthcare, immigration reform, criminal justice reform, and the list goes on. Jamie's service and impact will be felt for generations to come. And when I say it is truly my deepest honor and honor of a lifetime to introduce today, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. He's my favorite CEO. Now, we'd like to share a short video about how JP Morgan Chase shows up in communities across the globe. Please roll the tape.
When JP Morgan Chase enters any community, we take great pride in being a responsible citizen. We bank cities, schools, states, hospitals. That's what we do. It's the people. It's people starting things and growing things that have been dreamed. It is obvious that big chunks of people are left behind. We should recognize that and do something about it. We know that our business is only as strong as our communities. Everything we do only really matters when we do it for generations yet to come. If you lift up Detroit, that helps everybody in Detroit. It helps the kids, it helps the businesses. That's called humanity. And we have 20 million ex-felons here. They can't get credit, they can't get a home, they don't get a job. They don't want to go back. They deserve a second chance. The health of America is in strangers. What this company does is lift up people. We lift up countries, we lift up the world. People say it's not personal, it's just business. It is personal.
It is my pleasure to have the opportunity to sit down and talk with you. So this session, as you all know, is called Harnessing Your Passion and Purpose, Investing in Your Dreams and Aspirations. So I thought we might start with deconstructing the elements of your success. What do you think made you successful?
Oh God, welcome everybody, it's great to be here. That's not going to brag for me to success. I think it's the basic stuff. First of all, values, like great immigrants, America, my grandparents, with a high school education, like a lot of the folks, and very proud to be here. But a lot of it is hard work, treat people with respect, do the best you can, make the world a better place. However you do it, it could be art, it could be science, it could be press, it could be business, it could be a teacher, etc. And I just always give everything I got my best. You learn from it, from mentors, from reading, from other people, but it does, at the end of the day, it's an effort. Ability to change and meet people, have a little EQ, develop EQ.
How would you give advice to folks in this room about considering the changes we have today from when you started out? Those are all great sort of elements of success. But if you're going to be successful in business, dive a little deeper for me. What do you think are the things that work for you and would they work today?
Yeah, I think there's some very basic things. And it's just facts, analysis, detailed analysis. A lot of people don't do it. Look at everything, talk to everybody, get people's point of views, and then dig at it. I call it full observation, assess the information, assess the whole picture, assess the whole thing before you have an opinion. I think that the second one would be kind of hard to divide these things in pieces, but the ability to run stuff, administration, management, show up on time, run a meeting, have a follow list, manage people, it can be a pain in the ass, but some people it's a hot mess. They don't show up, they don't get people. You give them a task to do, and they say, oh, you do this, you do that, we're gonna take that down, you go left, you tackle here, and it works. The third is probably the most important for me, which is, I'm gonna say, is heart, humility, which is people don't want to work for a jerk. You never know everything. I don't care if you're in a small business or large business. Therefore, you have to ask people questions. You have to have curiosity. You can't blame them when everything goes wrong. You credit yourself when everything goes right. And that's what people want. You all have good bosses and bad bosses. The good bosses aren't just the smartest, the best administrators. Good bosses will ask you. They want you to contribute, and they let you contribute to the best of your ability. And that's what forms teams. And you see it when you watch sports. You see it. That team has heart. And you see other teams that all argue with each other, they don't like each other. It's harder to see in business, but it is the same thing.
In 2022, you wrote a letter to shareholders, and you said that JP Morgan Chase would develop a clearly stated purpose. Tell me a little bit about the strategy behind that.
I know Carl Hassan is in the room, head of marketing, but we already had how we do business. It already had some great details about financial treating people and how all the things should work. But they came to me one day and said, we spent a lot of time on this purpose statement. We had a generic thing that said, we want to be the best, most effective mission statement. And they came to see me, they gave me this thing, I looked at it, I can't stand this crap. I hope they didn't pay for it. But I took it home and I actually sat down slowly. I always give things respect and read it. Every piece of it, every word, every line, every explanation. And it was us. And they really take the time to listen to what we do and how we do it. So I sent out the video. And I called them up one day, they were graced. You know, when I usually said, that was really good. I mean, and you're right. And then the whole management team went through every word. So you can use different words for curiosity, different words for heart, you can use empathy, you can use. We actually looked at the words, what the words mean, how we want to run the place, and then we actually do mean it, and we have examples, and it has actually enhanced what we do. It does become a local rallying point. People know what we're talking about, and having a purpose does that.
How has it enhanced what you do?
You know, when I go around here, like wherever I go around JP Morgan, people know the words, they reflect the words, they want to talk about it. You know, it's not every day you're proud of your branch. It's also how do you treat the little lady when she came in? You know, we have doggy bones in our branch. We have dogs, North Love International go there. So it's around about. And also, this is people that we meet. And we all talk about it, we think about it, we say what we mean, we say. So the company travels around the world, you'd be shocked at the common culture. Well, it took years for the common culture, how we treat people, how we treat communities, how we treat clients, how we make mistakes, how we expect management and leaders to treat more junior people. And then there's a real example where we make sure people understand and we accept that kind of behavior.
And what's been the impact, if there's, which sounds like there has been, both within the organization and outside as well?
Well, I know a lot of Chase people here, and I think there's been a huge impact inside, or I mentioned also outside. And then it's reflecting, we open these community branches, we open these things, and that's what they do. They bring our heart, our passion, our energy into a community that doesn't have a branch. And then we hire locally and start to drive some of the decisions we make. I think a lot of our clients know. I get calls and letters, I get complaints too, but people who just impressed with JP Morgan did. There was a great article I read in the Chicago Tribune. We merged with JP Morgan. He left Chicago, and 8 articles about me, and I took out things, but I made promises, and 20 years later, there was a story saying Jamie Dimon kept every promise he said. And it was around the commitments we made to the city, the community, to continue investing there. And people know, and I expect that we're not here to say that place.
Back to the folks who are in this audience, I'm curious, what kind of personal development did you invest in yourself throughout your career, and what would you recommend to people that they should be thinking about?
Yeah, so early in my career, you probably have this in yours, we didn't talk about stuff like that. There was no mentoring, there was no feel-good talk, there was none of that stuff. It was a sacred swim. People were kind of mean to each other. There were very few women. When I started, there were very few women like on the executive boards, and almost no minorities. And but over time, some of the stuff we talk about, I think companies overdo it, but treating people with respect, absolutely. I was never good at gratitude. And so I really deeply appreciate it. Partially early on, because I didn't have to pay them more money at the end of the year. But I was dead wrong. People want to know that you appreciate what they did. It's a form of humility. You're actually recognizing what they did. So recognition. And of course, I saw Ted Lasso. I'm a big Ted Lasso fan, and so I'm a little bit more Ted Lasso I've ever been. And then other things that we learned from our life during COVID. One of the things we all learned is how hard life is for the caregivers. Often the females, taking care of kids and elder parents and stuff like that, and it was particularly high there. Having learned that, you also learn to be more flexible going forward for caregivers. And so you learn your whole life. You learn EQ, and I've always told you this, that your IQ you develop, so you have an EQ, and you're going to be, people trust you. Do you show up? Why is it good to go on the road and see clients? So you learn all these forms of EQ, and then you learn also, which you don't always about, but if you have 10 people meeting, that someone wants to say something, but you should say, oh, hey, what do you want to add? Draw it out. A lot of people are very shy, or afraid to speak in front of more people. Just develop more skills like that. And I don't think anybody's perfect. I'm sure after my management team, they'll tell you all the flaws I have, but you do get better over time.
Well, I'm sure they're like, he's perfect. And so what kinds of skills do you think folks in this audience should be thinking about getting better at if they want to move forward?
Right, so I already mentioned the learn. Your world is changing faster. It's more complex. And therefore you have to learn faster. And a lot of people stop learning. They think, okay, you're done learning. It never stops. You see the scams, the elder fraud, it's always changing. And so certainly you have to change your own cadence. Have a weekly meeting on that one subject. And so learn, get out and meet all the people, meet everybody. Meet people different. You go to the cafeteria, meet someone different than you. Different color, different race, different age. It's amazing what you learn. And just by talking to other people. And it's amazing people be willing to impart lessons to you because people have been through some tough things, some hard things, some very successful things, some big failures, and you can learn all the time and stuff like that. And so, and then you're going to have not only life faster, but you're probably going to be moving around more, different jobs and different things, and it creates a level of anxiety. But I think it's a good thing if you're learning more about the world.
What's been your biggest career obstacle?
For me personally,
Yeah.
I think, if that's a hard one to answer. If I was going to say something that could really set me back, was my temper. Doesn't exist anymore. Not that I take CBD. Not that I take CBD. No, it does exist, but that is one of the lessons of life. It's never good. It doesn't matter what you're. Sometimes people say to me, "That was a well-aimed, punch." I say, "I didn't do it purposely. I just kind of lost control." In fact, when I was a younger executive, someone gave me a business card that said, "Hello, my name is Jamie. I know I had a focus today. I'd like to apologize in advance for my behavior on this day." And, but you learn how to do that. And I remember the first time I was getting so angry at someone, and it was welling up in me. You don't always know why. You're aggravated. And I said to the person, "I am going to leave this room. I'm going to go think for 10 minutes. Please stay there, and then I'm going to come back." I said, that was amazing. That was 5 years of psychoanalysis right there. That was a breakthrough for me.
Were there benefits in doing that?
Yeah, it makes you far more thoughtful about what is this irritating you, and it makes you far more thoughtful and explain to someone why. And take the time to say, this, I think, and go through the absolute detail and so forth. I think it's very important, even on a management team, because I always find a management team, someone's always trying to weaponize you. Don't allow yourself to be weaponized. To try to jazz you up to go do something. So now I'll say to someone, Soledad, go speak to yourself. I'm not your weapon. And so you just learn how to navigate complex things that cause a lot of tension. There will always be tension. The question is, how do you deal with it? And you have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, it will get worse. So problems don't age well. So to learn how to deal with them, and I've learned a lot by watching other people, how good they were dealing with the situation. I used to work with Bob Lever. It's unbelievable how he dealt with it. Never got angry, just dealt with it kind of intellectually, with empathy, but he didn't stop. He got the issue resolved. So just learn how to do things better.
How do you develop resilience to sort of deal with the vagaries in the market, in the workplace, in one's career, in life?
I think first of all, this is an important thing. You all have to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, your friends, your family. Companies can't do that for you. And companies can help you when you have problems. So we do it in tremendous amounts to lift people up when they're down, whatever kind of problem they have. And the other thing is you're going to have bad moments, all of you. Every single one of you. And how you deal with those is really important. And I got fired from Citigroup. And you know who came to see me? Vernon Jordan, who I still love. And it was explained to me about, if you think you're going to get revenge, dig 2 graves. Suffer, hell is great, but get over it. Look at the future. If you look at the past, they still control you, type of thing. And so, and you do develop resiliency, but some people do it by meditation, some go for a 10-mile run, some take off a week, some just think very clearly on a Saturday or Sunday. There are all these things you can do that just can make it work better for you. And you should do it deliberately, including going to your kids' things. The family's more important than the job. That creates resiliency. It reminds you that my kids, my spouse, my friend, are more important than JP Morgan Chase. And I understand that. They're more important to me.
Sometimes people say that while they're also saying, but tonight you're gonna have to work late because in every industry. So how do you balance that? How do you divide up your goals, your family, the things you want to achieve, the personal things you need to achieve?
I remember when I was a young guy in a consulting company, right before I went to business school, one of the consultants told me on Friday, I need this on my desk on Monday. It meant I would spend all weekend working on an analysis industry or something for him. And I was all in, I did it, with my weekend, I put it at his desk at 9 o'clock, wasn't there. I was there at 10, wasn't there at 11, he called in at 1 and said, oh, I didn't really need it. I just want to make sure you got it done. This is not advice. I told him to go screw himself. And I also told the consulting company, I would never work for him again. That's disrespect. And because it was unnecessary. Now, if it's a really important job, no problem. We all have to do that. You're gonna have to suck it up this weekend. So never disrespect someone by giving fake work that they don't have to do. They have to show up, at 7 o'clock. They don't really have to show up at 7 o'clock to stretch towards them. And you have a lot of examples of people, and I've heard this, particularly in investment banking. That's not so true anymore, but I suffer through that stuff. You have to suffer through that stuff. It's a stupid way to live life. When it's really important, it's okay to ask people to go the extra mile. When it's not important, you shouldn't ask them to do that. So when we had the financial crisis, we have people working around the clock, literally 12, 15 hours a day for 6 months, 7 days a week. We're trying to save our country, and that was that. That's what we ask our military folks to do. We send them abroad for 6 to 9 months. And so, there are times to do it, but it's got to be very, very respectful when you do ask someone to go the extra mile. And then the family, the other day, I was very disciplined. That's like, I do family and work. I think, when you get older, you have kids, men, you have to turn the TV off every now and then. You don't have to play golf. You don't have to see 2 football games in a Sunday. You see 1 football game in a Sunday. Because you really should just say, I'm going to do my job, I'm going to take care of my family, and then some of these other things can drop. I think it's really important to go see your friends and hang out. But it's also really important that you give enough time to other things. I think if you look at your calendar and kind of think it through, you can schedule just about everything. If you don't, you become that hot mess where it's late, you're not catching. And I find the hot mess thing, your anxiety goes up. I'm almost never late. When I go to a meeting and he has any work person, I'm completely focused on the task at hand. I do not bring my phone. I do not bring my iPad. I've read the pre-work, and not being late, I don't have anxiety. If I'm always running late, catching up, I have huge anxiety. This way, that's a good way of taking care of yourself.
You wrote an op-ed with Melody Hobson, and you said businesses with diverse leadership can generate more revenue. And you went on to say increasing diversity can also reduce turnover. Can you explain that? I think that's been a big topic of conversation, or sort of conversation in our maybe yelling debates in our country today.
Yeah, we've been doing the same thing for a long time, and I don't like weaponizing monikers and stuff like that. So it's like I always been consistent going back years. Diversity and helping communities that don't have the same opportunity is a moral reason to do it, which is sufficient. But the thing with Melody was there's a business reason to do it. We deal with communities all around the country, and they're different communities. And the notion that somehow I'm going to walk in any community and understand their culture, their religion, their music, their language and stuff like that. So it is a very good thing to have that. And diverse opinion. Melody's on my board. It's not because she's Black, but she will also have a different point of view about how somebody can be viewed by the Black community, which I would not understand if she didn't tell me. And it's important for all of us to do that. It's not just the Black community, it's other communities and the military community. Sometimes how you speak, what they would like to hear or not hear. And so you have a little diversity, you come up with a better solution. You crowdsource intelligence, and if you do it well, it's not lip service. It's in lip service in a company, you're not going to have lower attrition. If you do it well, like we do, people respect our company. And that respect is not just hopefully our Black community, but everyone outside respects our company, but how we do things and why we do it. And that reduces your attrition. There's nothing like being in a company where people hate you. Nothing. You know, like I remember when I took over bank one, attrition was really high. I went to some call centers and stuff like that. I would sit there listening to calls. They hated us. The attrition in the call center was 2 times average because just taking those phone calls ruined your week. And the solution is fix the problem. You know, and so if you do it right, it definitely reduces attrition. And now we, of course, we want to be the company. You have to sign something that's not true. You know, people love being here, and that's what we want. We want everyone at JP Morgan to feel treated with respect, given opportunity, given opportunity to contribute to the best of their ability. And that's what we do, and it does work, and I think it works. And almost anything you've ever seen on this planet, and one of the things about these diversity efforts, that is what companies do. If you're a small bakery, you're doing that. You participate in the community, you help the local religious institution, take the food to homeless shelter. All small businesses do that. Just lift it up. You know, those are solutions you have.
Was there pushback when you first began to say, listen, there's going to be a business imperative for diversity, and we're going to support it and push it?
No, Wall Street is the biggest effort of all time. And it didn't always work. A lot of lip service. If you do it wrong, you will end up with lip service. So there's no pushback to JP Morgan. Even after the murder of George Floyd, we know, I thought there's a lot of people said, CEOs of companies, white CEOs, we got to do more. You know, and I'm not talking about the things that people are playing. It's just we need to do more. And we should have opportunities for a lot of society, not just the Black community. And I think it was good. So we set up an immigration equity effort. We met with teams of people. What do we do well? What do we do well? How do we do mortgages for minorities? How do we do affordable housing for minorities? What about these community branches? The one in Harlem now in the 5th year is gangbusters. And so now, when we did it that level, why one where when someone's in Hispanic, you say, you do some of this right, yeah. You know, and so I think it's huge support. You know, and then you learn, like now we're recruiting 26 HBCUs. You know, which are 4. And those kids, they want to succeed, they're gonna go. And you know, so it helps your company if you do it right, that's a lot of support. So I get support all around the world about the stuff that we do, not just for Black communities, for veterans, you know, for LGBT, for we have a special programs for autism, for disabled, for second chance, you know, folks with felons trying to get the jobs, the veterans. I mean, it works. And you make a better company, a better society, and most of it is for profit. Some is philanthropy. And the thing of the philanthropy, which is nothing wrong with doing, is meant to knock down the barriers that otherwise would create unequal opportunity. From giving people education to get or something. So these programs work, and they should be replicated, and they work around our country.
And doing it for profit, you say, is an important strategy.
I think most of it should be done for profit because you get this, when people say to me, well, this is that, yeah, no, we want our creative niche to work. If they're good for profit, we have 50 of them, not 20. And what we do, we get philanthropy. So we have very specific look at people who do philanthropy, we try to judge. You put this money in, what do you get for it? You know, and what was it worth? We try to analyze. We want to make things always more efficient and better. And then when you travel around the country, it's very important. You learn what other people do. They do in Detroit, they do in Ohio, Cincinnati, et cetera. And then you multiply that. The other thing we do, which I think is really important, by the way, maybe more important I spoke about, because I just told you things that JP Morgan does. But we also get involved in the fight in DC on federal policy, state policy. Because very often what is hampering success, growth, is federal policy. And think around schools. Think of inner city schools are not graduating half their kids. Rural schools, mortgage law, affordability laws, immigration laws, certain innovation. So getting the federal government to do a better job is critical. We can follow that fight too. That fight is hard and frustrating.
What advice would you give folks who say, listen, I'm trying to figure out how I take these things that I'm very passionate about and actually, make them work in the community? But I also have a job and I have a family.
There's 3 things. One is what you do yourself. Okay, and that you can do away from your business. And I know a lot of people do that. Things that like communities or kids or training, et cetera. You can do that yourself or through your company. And then you can get really involved with the company that goes beyond that. So you get people who are deeply involved in mortgage affordability or affordable housing, stuff like that. And then the third is public policy. And again, you can do the public policy stuff yourself, like get engaged at the local community level about public policy, get away from the company. Or you can join a company effort. Not as many companies do, we do this kind of global effort. We do it globally. We have a program to help, in the slums of Paris. And yes, there are slums of Paris. And so those are the ways to do it.
How do you think about social responsibility for someone who's trying to climb the ladder? There is a theory, like make it, get there, and then you can think about all the things you want to invest
in. I wouldn't get confused between the two. So I wouldn't say you should make it, get there, then you can give back. I think you give back the whole way. So don't make giving back an excuse for not getting there. And because you should never do that. You could be, you could be an analyst or associate or VP or managing director and still spend time thinking of other people, doing a good job and other people. It shouldn't detract you from doing well. But inside an organization, obviously, the more senior you get, the more you might be able to influence other people, create new things to do. So I would say do a little bit of both. Don't make an excuse.
Do you think it has an impact on the career?
No. I think if you do it right, it'll be good for your career. But, how many people do we know? Like, how many times have you been around and talking about someone, the name comes up, and you see the bookends, one name comes up, and they're talking about it. And they say about themselves, they back, they don't help, they just kiss their boss's ass, that's what they do. And then the other side, the person name comes up, every person who says, oh, they're fabulous. I go to them every time I have a problem. So they're getting a lot of value away from what you and I would call a job. Now, I hear them. I often call them up and say, my God, I'm sure I heard about it today, and stuff like that. So that's really important. And so that's what you should do. And if you do a good job, what you call social responsibility, they'll enhance you. People respect you and trust you. If you stick fingers in your eye and mad at people all the time, you don't think they're good, they don't back away.
What skills do you think the next generation needs to have? Maybe that your generation does
not. I'm not sure the skills of human beings have changed that much. I do think that all these generations in my life, they always leave college and they want to do good. I mean, guys, I was long hair, not much, but long hair, I was not against the military, American students were killed by National Guard on American campuses, for God's sake. We invented tree hugging. We invented granola. And I think all generations want to do good. That doesn't change. But the second in the workforce, okay, now you get in the real world. The real world is very different than that world. Theoretical and stuff like that. And so that part's good. But the main talents and skills, IQ and EQ and learn, that's going to be the same. And based on some kind of principles or character, that people trust you, all these very different things. That's what they say. What always changes is the technology. How to interface with the world. So, so now you have, don't waste a lot of time on social media, that works against you. But the world is different. So it's part of me to understand certain marketing that people do, social media, or certain means that I don't do any of that stuff, by the way. But because I don't know. So that part of it is technology. You should be proficient in AI. If you haven't used Chat 4.0, download Bing. Please, you'll learn. How many have not used it? How many have used it? Okay, but if you haven't used it, download Bing. That's one of the Chat 4.0s. Click on Copilot and tell it. You can ask it to summarize a movie or a book. You can ask it. I asked it a question this morning. You can ask it, how much does the IRS spend a year? How much? It's amazing. That's just ridiculous. So you'll become proficient in that kind of thing. Even how you ask the question, you get much more detailed information.
Politically, it is a difficult time. I think the country's divided, obviously. People are angry, people are frustrated. What changes that? Or are we just in this for the long haul?
Yeah, well, look, I don't know. politics. You can talk about gerrymandering, and all these various things, and I do think that contributes to it. And people have all these ideas about primary differently, and what's it called, weighted voting, and I think we should try some of these things. We've had divided before. It's been far worse than time. I grew up, it was bad. I mentioned students being killed. The Civil War obviously was bad. You know, and you can go on and on about that. So it's not to throw your hands out and say whatever. And one of the great things about enormous resilience, you know, we can fire our boss. After 4 years, you get to decide if you want that person or not. And Warren Buffett was here to tell you how resilient America because of that freedom, democracy, and then the leadership changes over time. And so, you know, after this election, hopefully that's true. I read a book by Ike Eisenhower, and I wrote this op-ed in the Washington Post about it. Ike Eisenhower had lunch or dinner every week, month, or something like that, and so did Clinton with the opposition. That stopped. I don't know why. I think the president was doing it every single time. You know, and some of our presidents are going to describe our problems to us. If I'm the president, here's a problem, what's the detail, here's what we need to do. And, you know, I think we need to do a little bit more of that kind of thing. People should reach out. People should understand why people have a different point of view. And it doesn't matter who you like them. You run a business, talk to everybody. You know, like, talk to people you like. You know, and then if you do that, you have, you know, friends and Jamie as opposed to everyone in the company feel like they can contribute, something like that. So I'm hoping, and I hope any president does that. Any president, and I don't care who they are. Now, I'm not going to talk politics here. You can talk about our two candidates, and one will not, probably, and one might. Okay, and I'm hoping they do. And so I think that's how you do it. And then they kind of tell the American public why. Like, if you were being, I remember someone not being weaponized, they should be weaponized by their far left and their far right. I'm not talking to them. And it's a mistake. You should talk to everybody.
What do you think is the secret to great leadership? Who was a great leader in your mind, and what's the secret to it?
Well, you know, if you look at business, and I'll mention this, there's just things that always stuck in my mind. They wrote that book, Good to Great. It's a great book, goes by 10 companies. But if I remember correctly, 2 or 3 were bankrupt. Maybe when they were completely great.
And then not so good.
But you want to read a great book about just intelligence, ethics, and character, and culture, ability to company. Walmart, I've got the name of the book. Sam Walton wrote it. The guys who was Home Depot. And it's the same thing. And also, they had a huge heart. In both cases, it wasn't like they were cold-blooded capitalists. They loved their employees, they loved their customers, they made mistake after mistake. And, but I think the real lessons, if you want to learn this history, read about Abe Lincoln, Nelson Mandela, you know, how Eisenhower dealt with things, how FDR dealt with things. And that's what I find, and I think that Abe Lincoln is like the most extraordinary. If you just read what he writes, the clarity, but the thought that went into that. And so I learned everything. I recently spent a lot of time with General Mark Milley, and he gave me a book called Command Decisions, which is hard to read, about 23-page decisions. World War II, you realize the diligence of people and the culture they try to build in the military about, you know, getting the mission done. And so, yeah, read and talk. There are people in your businesses today. I was at Bank One, and I knew a guy who was in the sales force of our capital market division. I think I have this right, by the way, I could be wrong, but I was in the dining room one day, and someone said, "You're that guy there?" I said, "That's Jack." They said, "You know who he is?" I said, "No." He said he's one of the most decorated soldiers alive. I didn't know. You know, he's sitting on this Medal of Honor winner. And so, you know, there are a lot of things you learn from a lot of people that are hungry. There's a great op-ed, 1994, June 6th, I think it was Washington. It was the Wall Street Journal. There was a guy who won the Medal of Honor on June 6, 1944. And he wrote about how he felt that day, winning the Medal of Honor, what it meant to lose so many of his friends that day in the battle. Well, actually, it wasn't D-Day, it was later on, but in the battles he had to go through. But then he wrote something just never forgot. In fact, I'm trying to get a copy of it. I haven't seen it in 50 years, 30 years. And he said, but now I look back at my life and I really the true heroes were the people who day in and day out, thick or thin, all types of weather, who did a good job on this planet. The mothers, the fathers, the teachers, the doctors, the scientists, the artists, the people who made life a better place. And that always stuck with me because I think that's largely true.
We are out of time. Thank you so much for this conversation.
One more round of applause for Jamie Dimon and Soledad O'Brien. A really great conversation. So first and foremost, I see a lot of people getting up. Do not get up. Sit back down just for 1 second. We have one more surprise for you. So just sit back down. Sit back down again. Thank you, Soledad. Thank you, Jamie. We really appreciate it. Also, congratulations to our Entrepreneur of the Year, Arian Simone and the Fearless Fund. One round of applause for them. So did you enjoy the conversation? Are you sure? You just okay? Just wanted to double check. You're actually going to get to be a part, not of the conversation, but of this moment right now. We're going to take a quote unquote selfie. So everybody, I want you to stand up right now. You're going to be in the picture with Soledad and Jamie. We're going to take a picture. Everybody in the finance world, all around the world, is going to see this picture. Straight out your ties. Get ready. Come on up.
I got this one first.
Come on, everybody. This is your chance to be a part of this moment. Come a little closer to the stage.
All right, ready? Everybody ready? Here we go. That's gonna be nice.
This is going to be a fun one. So if you have whatever you do to be quote unquote fun in a picture, this is your moment to do it.
1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Coming our selfie right here.
All right, wait, one more serious one. Serious. Smile, everybody smile. Smile, smile, smile. All right, wait, everybody stay. This is the fun one. This is your chance. This is the chance. I'm gonna jump this one too.
Let Frank in the middle.
Okay, Frank, right here.
No, you should be in the middle.
Yeah, you should be in the middle.
Ready? Right. Jamie and Soledad, wait 1 second. We're going to get the Black MBA board up here on the stage. If you're on the board, please come up to the stage. Black MBA board members, please come up to the stage if you are on the board. Okay, as the board members come to the stage, we're almost done with the luncheon. Please remember, we look forward to seeing you in Houston next year, September 23rd to the 27th in 2025. Black MBA board members, please come to the stage. And before you leave, take a look at the following video that has highlights from the rest of today's activities. Thank you all.
Association conference. Now, as the immediate past president for the Seattle chapter, we decided we were going to make this live as much as possible to bring you in. Did you hear what they just talked about? This is about us showing up for each other. I could not be more excited. More to come. This is going to be all about how we show up. So, so much more to come. Stay with us.